I thought yesterday when we went through Jack's that there was probably 50% of people in the class were concentrating really hard, and now another 50% who were not learning from what we were doing. So I'm going to use a shorter example today from John's, and the idea is I'm just going to ask you individually, is that punctuation right or wrong, and how do you know? Okay? Then I'm going to stick it on YouTube, and we will go back over it. Yeah, so you'll be able to access it. There'll be a homework where I get you to access it and then I test you on it. So my first question is this comma correct? Does he need it, yes or no? It's wrong, tell me why. You don't need one. How do we test it? Can somebody tell Lauren how we test it? We always test things the same way. Full stops and commas, James? Does it make sense on its own? So it was me and my mate Timmy's idea to go to the insane asylum. Does make sense on its own. Oh, wait. So normally that would be a full stop. Then we test if the next bit makes sense on its own. So Lauren, does that make sense on its own, yes or no? Okay, so we've got two things that make sense on their own. What punctuation do we need? We need a full stop. However, somebody just mumbled semicolon at me. Yes, why?
Because they make sense.
You can join the two together with a semicolon. Because, Jess, because they're linked, aren't they? Those two sentences are properly linked. Okay. Go on then, Josh.
I thought because you've opened the speech marks, you don't need to have, you need a full stop.
That's a good point. Before opening speech marks, you always have some punctuation. Yeah? It's only ever a full stop if the speech marks start down here as a new paragraph. Otherwise, it will always be a comma or something else. Okay. These speech marks have gone after the full stop. Is that right or wrong? Cameron R. Is that right or wrong? These speech marks after the full stop. Do they always go after the full stop or not? Which way are you going? No is the wrong answer. Okay? So it's worth remembering. Let's put it back. The punctuation always comes before the speech marks. Put it there, John, otherwise I look like a wally. Thank you. Thank you. Nathan, that's what everybody said, comma, but before the night was a member, we should be dead. Anything you want to change? Before the night was over, good. Okay, so we're going to read it with over, Nathan. Is the comma right or wrong? Hold on.
I don't know.
Okay, what's the test that we apply that James told us? Does it make sense? So that's what everybody said. Does that make sense on its own?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. Then we look at the next bit. Does that make sense on its own? But before the night was over, we would be dead. Doesn't. So the comma is right then, okay? If both bits make sense on their own, then it has to be a full stop. Okay. Who knows what's wrong with guards? I've got one hand. Anyone else know what's wrong with guards?
Oh, yes.
Two hands.
Needs an apostrophe.
I think I know.
Two hands and a blabber. Three hands. Okay. Right. John has put an apostrophe here. So my question is that right or wrong? Blabber, right or wrong?
Well, it's wrong now. Now it's right. That's wrong. That's right.
So where? So that's right now. Can you take the mouse off it so it's not clicking? So it's not flashing, John. Yeah, thanks. Okay. It's right that it needs an apostrophe. Can you tell me why? Thank you.
Because it belongs to them.
Brilliant. The ghosts belong to them. I'll say it again because it's important. The ghosts belong to them. But my owner of the ghosts isn't guard. What's the owner? Go on, John. The owner isn't guard. What's the owner? Because there's ghosts here. It's guards. The guards own the ghost. So we need to put the apostrophe after the owner. and we decided the owner was guards. So get rid of that apostrophe and put it after the owner, which is guards. Perfect, well done. The guards go still walk about, and the devil himself, you're going to change it to etc, which is etc, etc. Okay, you can right click on it because it probably wants a full stop after each one because they're abbreviated. That's it. Okay, I want a comma in that sentence. You've got 10 seconds to work out where it's going to go. 5 seconds left. Okay, John, number between 1 and 10 again.
7.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ross, where are you going to put the comma? I'll get out of your way. It's this sentence. They say the guard's ghost will walk, etc. Down to there. Why? What was our test? James gave us the test that we always ask. Does it? Okay. So they say the guard's ghost will walk about, still walk about. Does that make sense? It does. Good. Does so? Can I have quiet? So because it makes sense, I could put a full stop there. But then I test this bit. Does this make sense? And the devil himself, etc., etc. So I could have a comma there, couldn't I? However, so that's right, but you've all been taught that you don't need a comma if you've got and. Yeah, so you were right. It could be a comma there, but we don't need it because there's and. But we still do need a comma. James, where?
We need a comma after the devil himself. It's starting a list.
Brilliant. Why?
It's starting a list.
Good. It's starting a list. That'll do, etc., etc.
Sir,
Yes, Harry.
shouldn't it be a comma after the first section?
Actually, yeah, you would, because you've got etc. in a list. Yeah. So we need another comma there, John.
Where?
Here,
Okay.
because it's in the list. No, we still need the full stop because it's an abbreviation. It's really complicated. And the comma, right. Okay, last bit. I think, what a load of nonsense. Just a load of ghost stories to scare the small kids to stop them going up there. We've got a sentence with 2 commas in. We always have to double check those. No. But if you've got one with 2 commas in, there's a high chance that one of them's wrong. So, 15 seconds to look at the first comma and come up with a reason why it should or shouldn't be there.
John, you've still got a full stop back there.
Where?
After the etc.
Right.
Full stop.
You have to.
Yeah, he did that.
So, 2 of them make sense.
How does that make sense?
It's to show it's abbreviated. So if you abbreviate
Right. Quiet in 3, 2, 1.
I think what a load of nonsense.
Mom, thank you. Good. Right. Grace.
Yeah.
First comma. Right or wrong?
I wouldn't put it there.
Because
Because I just think what a load of nonsense makes sense on its own.
it does. So our test then is to look at the next bit. Does that make sense on its own?
Yes.
It does. Therefore, what should that be?
Stop.
Full stop. We'll put one. Or can we? John is going to tell us. He's put in a semicolon. Why is that right in your opinion, John?
Because it looks pretty.
No, what's the job of the semicolon? We did it earlier up here. What's the job of the semicolon?
Just show it's connecting.
Brilliant. So it's connecting these 2 sentences. Are they connected? Do they belong together?
Yes.
Yeah, they do. So you're absolutely spot on. Well done. Okay. Yeah. Final comma. Is it right or wrong? Jack.
Yes.
Why?
Because the second part doesn't make sense on its own.
Correct. The second part doesn't make sense on its own, so that is a correct use of the comma. Well done. That was much better concentration than yesterday. Thank you very much.